Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to Heatherroseup. I am Heather. In this video, I will be answering questions about following WW after weight loss surgery. So whether you've had weight loss surgery or you'd like to know a little bit more about my journey, keep watching. Hi guys. Okay. This is literally the third time I'm trying to make this video. This is a video that I have put off making for over a year. This is a video that I have thought about making since before I even started my channel, and it's a video I talked about making since I started my channel. And I realize I have some anxious feelings and some reservations about this video, and I'll explain that in a minute. Before you watch this video, I highly recommend you watch two videos, and I always have a link to these videos in the descriptions of all of my videos, and that is number one, my very first video, and that I will have a card up here for, and that's where I introduce myself and I explain why I have this channel. And then the second video that I highly recommend you watch is my weight loss journey video, and I'll have a card up here. And that video, I go more in depth about my weight loss journey and my struggle with obesity. So watch those videos after you watch this video and you'll get a better understanding of my journey. Or you can pause this and, come back. Anyway, the reason I am doing this video today, June 30th, is because today is my 12-year surgiversary, if you will, the anniversary of my weight loss surgery. And I feel like I was anxious and hesitant about doing this video because I do know that weight loss surgery is a little misunderstood and it's still a little taboo. And like I mentioned in one of my videos, the whole reason I made this channel was because I haven't seen any videos or channels, and if you have, please leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to follow them. But there aren't really any channels out there that explain weight loss surgery regain, or somebody who follows WW after having had weight loss surgery. So I wanted to do this video because I do know that this topic is a little taboo, like I said, and I wanted to answer questions because I know a lot of people have questions that they're too afraid to ask. Now, these questions that I will be answering, obviously these answers are solely of my opinion and reflect my journey. Now, they might be relatable to some of you who have had weight loss surgery, which as I've had my channel grow a little bit, I have had some viewers that have had weight loss surgery as well. But again, this is my opinion, and even their journeys are going to be completely different than my journey. But I figured this would help those of you who do have questions maybe understand this kind of journey a little better. Before I start with these questions, I want to mention this type of surgery that I had was what is called RNY gastric bypass, or Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. I know that surgery is a little less common now, and the gastric sleeve is a little bit more common. But anyway, and as I answer these questions, if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to email me. I am an open book. This channel, I take pride in my honesty. I have been honest about my journey since day one and will continue to do so. I don't take offense about honest questions as long as they're not rude. So let's get started on answering the questions. And I will mention that some of these questions aren't exactly weight loss surgery WW related, but I'm going to answer them anyway. Question number one, what are your go-to snacks? Having had weight loss surgery, the first thing that I have been taught that I have to make sure that I am up on is my protein. Because people who have had weight loss surgery sometimes experience vitamin deficiencies, and we don't absorb foods or nutrients like somebody with your average digestive system. So my go-to snacks typically have protein in them. So cheese stick, peanut butter, beef jerky, turkey jerky is my favorite jerky, and it's turkey, by the way. So those things that I like to have on hand. I also, because I know how I eat, I like to have snacks that feel indulgent so I don't feel deprived, because when I feel deprived, that's when I go off the wagon completely. Fiber One bars. My new favorite is these cereal bars that are 4 Smart Points. And then lots of fruits and veggies I have on hand. If I have veggies, I will often make a Greek yogurt dip, which has protein in it. The second question is a fantastic question. What lifestyle changes did you make to allow the weight to come back? So my experience with my surgery, I lost majority of my weight, 140 pounds, within the first year. Yes, I had to work at it, but it definitely came off easier that first year than it ever has in any other part of my weight loss journey. So slowly, old habits started to creep back in. With my weight loss surgery, I am supposed to make sure that I have protein first. I'm supposed to make sure that I eat a smaller amount of sugar, which, by the way, I've mentioned in a couple videos. If I have too much sugar, I experience something called dumping syndrome. It sounds great, doesn't it? And when that happens, I get a fast, heavy heartbeat. I sweat. I feel nauseous. Sometimes I do get sick. So I have to be careful with my sugar. But what's weird about this is I could have sugar one day and it'll make me sick. And then I'll have something again, the same exact amount and everything, and it won't make me sick. So sometimes food affects me, and then sometimes it doesn't. So the desired effect is for it to affect you, so you stay away from it. But that started to not happen after a while. The more I ate it, the more I was able to tolerate it. And the weight was still coming off in that first year. So I took advantage of the fact that it was still coming off. And then I was pretty much eating like I was, just in smaller portions because I don't have the room in my stomach to eat like I used to. And I just expected that it'll just continue to stay off. And I had my son, who is now 9. And it wasn't until maybe a year after he was born, when the honeymoon, what they call the honeymoon phase, was over, and I really had to work like I did in the beginning of my surgery to keep it off. So it started to pile on. And I mentioned my journey more in the other video, like I said, but the weight came on, and then I started to do yo-yo things. I did keto. And then it became less of a struggle to keep it off, but more of a struggle to lose what I had gained back. So even though in my support groups for weight loss surgery, I knew that it was something that I'd have to work at for the rest of my life, and I just got very complacent and didn't address probably the food addiction and the root of my issue through it all to help build my foundation to lose weight and keep it off. Number 3, making meals for yourself and a husband and children must be a challenge as a working woman. How do you do it and still maintain the proper ratio you need for your weight reduction without compromising the normal needs of an adult male and growing children? What's normal? So, my rule in my house is we have the same thing for dinner. I don't make different meals for my family because I'm the one that typically does most of the cooking. When it comes to breakfast and lunch, you're on your own. My kids are pretty self-sufficient and they'll make their lunches. I try to give them healthy options though, and I really do push and teach now balance. So we do have those treats. If you've seen any of my grocery hauls, you'll see that I do have the occasional treat with my kids or for my kids, but we balance it out with the healthier treats. My husband is not a picky eater either, and the recipes that I choose, you have to do a lot of work and research to find recipes that you know that your family is going to enjoy. Every week when I build my meal plan, this is also probably the most important answer to this question. Before I build my meal plan, I will go around the house and say, give me your dinner suggestions. So I'm getting input from my family as to what they want and request. So they're a part of the meal planning and the healthy choices. If you've seen, I actually did a collab not that long ago of my family's top 5 WW friendly recipes and meals, and they do enjoy how I cook now. Actually, they have told me on more than one occasion that they prefer my cooking now since I joined WW than the way it was before. In the summertime, I often have my kids help me with cooking, so they're also a part of that. So the normal needs of my family is essentially the same needs that we need. Personally, in my family, it's just we focus on balance. So that would be my recommendation. If you have a family and your husband eats a certain way, well, maybe he could help with make dinner or meal plan. Not trying to step on any toes here, but that's what we do in our family, and that's what works for us. In turn, my husband has also lost weight in this journey as well. He has slowly made changes and again, you'll see in my grocery hauls, there's certain things that he would always eat, and then slowly they started to modify towards kind of like what I eat. So yes, there are some things that we buy differently, but when it comes to dinners, everybody's having the same thing. And I include their input, like I said. Okay, moving on. Do you eat several small portions during the day or 3 bigger meals? So this is another question that I get. Part of the reason why I had gained weight is because I stretched what is called my pouch. It does occasionally stretch. I ate to make it stretch a little bit, and I definitely can eat more than I probably should have or I did in the beginning. That being said, I do have my 3 meals, my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then I have to eat in between them because my portions are still a little bit smaller. I eat roughly around the same amount that my 9-year-old son does, although he's starting to eat more than I do. So I try to time out my snacks in between. So I guess that would be both. Number 5, what skills is WW teaching you to keep from falling into old habits and patterns? Another good question. I am learning that mindset is the foundation. Mindset and self-love are the foundation of my journey. And while they're helping me keep track of my food better, they're also giving me the tools, especially in the workshops, to set my mind up for success. I hope that makes sense. And the tracking is big, and they make it so easy for you to watch what you're eating. And before Weight Watchers, when I had my surgery, I was still supposed to track what I was eating. So it's essentially what I'm supposed to be doing after having weight loss surgery. And that's not to say that sometimes those old habits still creep up. This is something that I struggle with daily. Some days are, easier than others. I can have months that are easier than others. So the thing is just to fight against the old unhealthy habits and sticking with the good healthy habits. Number 6, how do you involve your kids in making healthier choices? I kind of answered that when I said that I get them involved with meal plans. I will have them look up recipes if they want to make something. I've had them do that before, and then I just tweak it to make it a little bit more WW friendly. And yeah. The next question, did you ever try Weight Watchers before your surgery? If so, how do you think it is working now if it didn't work then? In my video that I mentioned before, I did try WW before weight loss surgery. I actually contemplated weight loss surgery and then decided against it, joined WW, and then I moved to South Korea. Yeah, where Weight Watchers was not a thing at the time. So old habits came in, and I wasn't getting the support that I was getting from WW. And then after surgery, I joined WW again. I did it digitally only. Not for me, did not work. Just didn't help me with getting back those healthy habits. And that's why this time around I joined workshops and knew that's what I needed and went with it that way. Number 8, do you eat bad from stress? Yep. Yes, I do eat from stress. I think that's part of the reason why I started to gain my weight back. I went through some very stressful times. If you know me in person, you know what I'm talking about. And not to be vague, I went through a really difficult divorce and did not know how to manage my stress eating because I had built up unhealthy habits after having weight loss surgery, etc. Next question, how do you eat healthy when going out to eat? This one is hard for me, and I think that is why that we don't eat out often as a family. It saves me smart points and it saves me money. But I don't avoid it completely. And actually, we've been getting a lot of takeout during this pandemic, trying to help support local businesses. But yes, and I do eat healthy, but there are times that I indulge and I just have to work it. And this is where WW helps me because it helps me with balancing. If I really have my mindset on something indulgent, I'm going to get it. I'm going to figure out what it is exactly that I want, figure out the points, and then plan around that meal. Or if I, don't really know what I'm getting, I don't have my mindset on something, then I will choose healthier options and work around it. But what helps me the most is to plan ahead in those situations. Obviously, that's not always easy to do. So looking online for the menus and kind of figuring things out that way. I honestly feel less stressed going out to eat when I am able to look up a menu beforehand. Next question. How did you get started with WW? Again, I mentioned this in my journey video, and I kind of already explained that I actually have a good friend who was very successful on WW, and I started to pick her brain about it because of the weight I was gaining, and I knew how to do something. So I went online and I went on their website, which also in the link below, I always have my referral link. If you are thinking about joining WW, I would love it if you use my code. You would get a free month, as would I. And then when you look it up online, you can find a studio. If workshops are for what's for you, you can find a local studio and the times as to when you could go to a workshop, which, by the way, Workshops are the old, what used to be referred to as meetings. Next question. If you had to choose to have the surgery again, would you? Without a doubt. I don't mean to keep referring back to that other video of my journey, but I do believe that my surgery saved my life. I had a lot of comorbidities, which are the health issues that you have to have basically for them to say, okay, yeah, you do need this. And even with the regain, who knows where I would be now had I not had it done. It was hard. It was a difficult recovery. Obviously, keeping the weight off was a struggle, but I would absolutely choose it again. Without a doubt. Next question. Did you develop any other physical issues after the surgery that you had to address that may have been complications due to the surgery? Not that I can think of. I feel very blessed and very lucky that I did not have any side effects or that weren't like, I experienced the dumping syndrome, but that's a known side effect for people who have had gastric bypass. But other than that, no. I'm so grateful for that. One thing that I am grateful for is I've kept up with my vitamins. There have been periods of times where I stopped taking them and then I experienced side effects because of my malabsorption of nutrition, which is a known side effect as well. So yeah, no, I'm very fortunate that I haven't had any complications. Next question is a question that I got recently from a newer subscriber. How do you get all the food and water in while not being able to eat large portions at a setting? I mentioned already that my pouch did stretch over 12 years. I can probably, and it really depends on the food, we have foods that are called slider foods, so things like pastas, I can eat, and then it just, think of my pouch, the pouch is the smaller portion of the stomach, by the way. Think of it as a funnel. Now, you're gonna put chewed up pasta, not to get gross, and it's slippery, and it's gonna go, through the funnel slowly, but quicker than than let's say a piece of dense chicken. That'll sit there. It's not going to go down unless, your digestive juices or whatever starts to break it down. So you're not going to feel full long enough. So that was a tangent and now I'm trying to remember where I was at. So the question is, how do you get all the food and water in? I don't really struggle with getting the food in. That's why I'm where I am now. And I try to focus on proteins first and less carbs, even though they're not bad, just because I know that they're not going to keep me full and satisfied longer because of my surgery. But WW kind of pushes that also. Carbs are not bad, but they're not going to keep you as full as, lean proteins are. And that's part of the reason why I joined WW, was because it helps me eat the way I'm supposed to post-op. And as far as water, I struggle with that. If you've been following my channel for a while now, I struggle with my water. I have my water here right now, and this is 32 ounces, and I'm currently only getting in 48 ounces of water a day because I struggle with that. Also, fun fact, people who have had gastric bypass are not supposed to eat and drink at the same time because then you're helping that food go down the funnel quickly, and then you don't stay satisfied as longer. And that has become a good habit that I haven't broken pretty much. Occasionally I will do both, but I do drink my water in between eating. I literally have to just keep track of what I'm drinking and just try to push it and increase my goals as the weeks go on. Next question, does it make it easier to lose weight on WW since you had the surgery? Another great question. I don't think I would be doing this channel if it were easier. Since I had the regain, it's been a year and 4 or 5 months since I joined WW this time around, and I've lost 30 pounds. And I'm not trying to laugh at that because I know that there are people that lose a lot more that are the same size as me. And that's okay. Every journey is going to look differently. But if you've been following my channel, you know I'm working really hard at keeping those healthy habits and to lose weight. Definitely could do better in certain areas, but we all can. So the short answer to that is no. Unfortunately, it does not make following WW any easier. Next question is, do you have to eat differently on WW because of your surgery? Yes and no. I have to be careful. Like I mentioned, I have to make sure that I get in protein. I have to make sure I'm watching my sugar and my carb intake because carbs do turn into sugar and they don't keep me satisfied, like I had mentioned. But I do know that that's the case for people who have not had surgery. And I'm trying to think of what else. And I have to take vitamins every day for the rest of my life. Okay, next question. Do you know anyone else who does WW after weight loss surgery? Yes, I follow a few people on Instagram, actually because I searched WW after WLS to find other people who are in a similar situation that I am. But I don't know anybody personally. What advice would you give to someone who gained weight after weight loss surgery that has been thinking about joining WW? First and foremost, make sure your doctor says it's okay. Legal disclaimer. But I would have to say I would recommend it. It's really helped me, like I said, eat the way I'm supposed to eat. It helped me get back into routine of making healthier choices, whether it be the water, the physical activity, or the eating. And even though it's coming off so slowly, it's okay, it's coming off. And I do believe that it's coming off in a way that it will stay off this time. I do believe that this WW is something that I will follow for the rest of my life, unless it becomes astronomically expensive, but my goal is to get to lifetime so I don't have to pay anymore. And that's it for the questions. I am long-winded on a regular basis, so answering these questions, I'm sorry, I kind of rambled, and I hope it made sense to you. Sometimes I go on to tangents. Again, if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. I understand that this subject is a little unknown, and that's why I have no problem answering questions like this. I hope that this has helped you understand people who have had weight loss surgery maybe a little bit more, and understand that, you know, our journeys are not to be discredited just because it's a different journey. I know that regain after weight loss surgery is more common than people realize, and if you're watching this and you have had weight loss surgery and you feel like a failure because you've gained weight, know that you're not. Number one. And number two, we all experience different failures in life. And even the most successful people have had stories of failure. With failure comes the ability to learn more, to educate yourself more, and to grow from there. I am not saying that I know it all or that my journey is complete because I've followed WW. My journey is something that I work on at a daily basis, whether it be in my mind, physically, or how I eat. This journey is mine, and I am working for it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you found this video helpful in any way, please give it a thumbs up. If you've decided that you still want to stick around and follow my journey and you haven't subscribed yet, it would mean the world to me if you did hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be alerted every time that I do upload a new video. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. That wasn't so painful.